Hi everybody, I'm Doug.
And I'm Margot.
And this is the recap for week 5 of Balboa at Wednesday Night Hop, May 2018, Bal-Swing Fundamentals. So we spent a lot of time today reviewing and working on our fundamentals. We started in out and ins, just reminding everyone to really take our time with our outs and ins, making sure they don't feel like rock steps or specifically out in, right? We want to take a full 2 counts to go out and a full 2 counts to go in. And then we transitioned from out and ins into lollies, hoo-ha, hoo-ha, and use that as a segue to talk about pivoting and stretching and rotating. We talked about compression and stretch as a hand exercise, like feeling hand pressure on the inside and then stretch in the fingers away. So compression, stretch, compression, stretch. And then we talked about how to create that with our bodies, creating stretch from moving our chests away from each other by rotating, and compression by moving our chests towards each other by rotating, and how we use that in lollies to create turns a lot. And so then use that to talk about a new type of turn. Last week we did inside turns. This week we did outside turns. Show that from another angle. Ha, ooh, ha, hoo. We talked about how that comes from a compression, right? So if we have a compression on our taps in lollies and a stretch on our kicks away, hoo, ha, we can create an outside turn by adding like a little bit of extra compression and then creating a release. So just like we had a stretch release for our inside turn or for a toss out, we can also do compress release. Hoo-ha.
For follows, we talked in particular about making sure that you are turning your face to look over the shoulder that you are turning towards. This is going to be probably easier for most of us to turn to the left because we're used to turning to the left. For these outside turns, you actually have to make yourself look over your right shoulder and look for your lead over your right shoulder. Yeah, and then you can unwind underneath that when you find your partner. We did not talk about, but I feel like I should mention on all of these turns that you really want to think about stepping in place when your lead asks you to turn in place. It can be very tempting, especially if you are a Lindy hopper, to do shoulder width or hip width turns, and that will take you way far down the line. And that's super awkward for outside turns in particular, because if you take a shoulder width turn away from your partner, you're actually moving way far away from them as opposed to past them down a line. So make sure that you're thinking about stepping underneath yourself in place.
Yes. Yeah. So thinking about that, make sure you practice your toss out and your inside turn from last week. Start putting this outside turn into your dancing, and we'll see you. Well, I won't, but hopefully we'll see you on the dance floor and for Balboa 2 next month.